Welcome to PlayBranson, the show where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and today's episode is brought to you by iBranson.com. It's the place where you can plan your entire Branson vacation, lodging, shows, attractions. So be sure to visit iBranson.com, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. Our guest today is Kelvin Wright. He's a performer at the King's Castle Theater. It's his first time on the show, so we're looking forward to talking to him soon.
King's Castle Theater, 4 spectacular shows in one amazing venue, featuring New Jersey Nights, a celebration of Frankie Valli and the 4 seasons. Branson's award-winning smash hit Irish show, Dublin's Irish Tenors and the Celtic Ladies live in concert. And the biggest rock party in Branson with hits from Queen, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, and more. Anthems of Rock. King's Castle Theater presents Christmas Wonderland, Branson's most beloved holiday show. No Yuletide trip to Branson would be complete without seeing this grand Christmas extravaganza. Don't miss this holiday favorite that brings the magic of Christmas to life. Get a huge deal when seeing a second, a third, or fourth show. King's Castle Theater. Call the box office at 417-334-2500.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. On today's show, for the first time, I have Kelvin Wright, and he is with the King's Castle Theater.
Right. Yeah.
And you've been there a while, but I want you to take us way back. Tell us about your journey in this business.
Okay. So I'm originally from England. I grew up in a city called Manchester. And as a young child, I was singing and dancing. I actually was a competitive Latin and ballroom dancer. I competed all around England. I was a junior and the juvenile champion of Great Britain. Wow. So that was like my first start in like showbiz. Lots of glitz and glam. I don't know if you know much about Latin and ballroom. It's a very like glitzy world, very competitive world. And at the age of 14, I was ready to just like move on to something new. So then I really got heavily involved in like the classic dance styles, ballet, tap, jazz, was doing all that good stuff, went off to private school to get my professional training, and then went out in the industry and started working. I did some classical stuff. Right off the bat, I went to a ballet school, and then started doing more commercial stuff, some corporate gigs. I worked for cruise lines. I traveled a bunch of places all around the world.
Wow.
And then stumbled across Branson. And I came here just for a season. It wasn't supposed to be here for very long. Yeah. I was just filling in a contract from a friend that reached out and was like, hey, are you available? I came, I arrived at Springfield and I was like, where am I?
Yeah.
I've never seen a place like this. I'm used to the big city life, and the small town was just so foreign to me. I came to Branson, started working, and really fell in love with this little crazy town. And I've been here for 8 years now. I think it's my 8th season. So
when you got the gig to come to Branson, you didn't really know anything about it.
I didn't know anything about Branson. And I always tell people, so I was on cruise ships before I came to Branson. So I was used to being on beaches and islands. So the first thing that I Googled was the beach in Branson, and Moonshine Beach popped up.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not what I'm used to. But yeah, it took me a little while to adapt to the small town, but I really do love it. And I call it home. I live here. I live actually on a 25-acre farm in Arkansas, just close to Harrison. So yeah, I've really like made a home for myself here.
I actually grew up in Harrison.
Oh, really?
Where I grew up.
Nice.
And so, I tell people I grew up in the Ozarks because, Harrison's not that far away, and it's a really quick drive. When I was in high school, we would try to back in the day, it wasn't a 4-lane road and it was a 2-lane road. And it was fun to drive. And we would say, how fast can we drive from the stoplight in Hollister to the first stoplight in Branson? I kid you not. But we would actually come up here to Branson and we'd cruise. That was the back in the days before we had phones, right?
You're right.
So we can tell you have this accent. And so at And when you were in the UK, at what age did you say, hey, I want to do this professionally? Do you remember that?
I do, because I come from a family of medicine. So my mum's a nurse and I have aunts and uncles that are all in the medical industry. And that was like the aim that I wanted to do. I've always been really fascinated in hospitals and medicine. I actually wanted to be a scrub nurse in the OR. That's like what I wanted to do. So when I was in school, about 14 and 15, my parents were like, you need to decide what you want to do, because I was so heavily involved with dance, but I still wanted to do this career in medicine. And then one day I woke up and said, I'm going to be a dancer. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put myself in it. My parents said, as long as you get your qualifications for school to have a backup plan, then we're happy. So it was about 15, 16 where I was like, I'm going to do this. And that's when I went off to dance school to really train professionally for that.
So you've trained professionally, and so I know there's all these different types of dance. So when you go train professionally, are you learning all types? Or are you learning one type? Or explain that.
Yeah. So the school that I went to, it's a renowned ballet school in England. So their main focus was classical, so ballet and contemporary. But we did have to do everything as tap, jazz. We did aerial work, tumbling. We did everything, but our focus was that traditional ballet core training.
Yeah, I think I read where you were on, was it Norwegian cruise lines?
Yeah.
And so what was that like, being on a cruise line?
It was so much fun. So with that company, when I first auditioned, I was just supposed to just be a dancer for them. Negotiating contracts and stuff, they wanted me to go in and do aerial work. I don't know if you know what aerial work is.
Explain that to me.
You're like 30 feet in the air dangling from like silks or a rope or a lyra, acrobatics. So a lot of their production shows that they have on board have a lot of aerial work in there. They saw it in me. They sent me off to train for all of this aerial stuff. And on board, I danced and performed all of their aerial acts in their show.
Yeah. And so you, by just being on a cruise line, you got to see a lot of different countries and do a lot of different
all over the world. I did that for 3 years with Norwegians on various different ships. And it was just a great lifestyle. It got to the point that I was ready to move on to do something else, because you can only be on a beach for so long. But I went to Alaska, and that was amazing. I know a lot of people want to go to Alaska. And I was there for 4 months, and it was incredible.
Now, were you there just on vacation, or were you working?
I was working, but it felt like a vacation.
Yeah.
So as a performer on a cruise ship, we really don't do much work. Our job is to perform. And with a busy cruise schedule, you're performing maybe once or twice a week. So it's a really, really good gig. The money also helps.
Yeah.
You'll see the world.
Yeah. So you see the world, you don't have to work a lot, you get paid well.
For sure. Absolutely. It's a good deal.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. So you said when you came to Branson, you were filling in a contract for somebody. So somebody knew you, or you knew of that position?
So one of the other dancers at the theatre, Rowan, we went to school together.
Okay.
So we've known each other from being kids. And he just reached out to me. I just got back to England from a contract, and he was like, what are you currently doing? He was actually leaving to go on a cruise ship. So they were trying to find their replacement for me to come in. I came in. And
that's where networking plays
for sure.
a role.
Absolutely.
And so, I've actually had a young man the other day that reached out to me, and he's like, what do I do? I want to work in Branson. And,
sure.
And I'm like, well, first of all, you got to just play and network. And this is a good example of the connections that you have had.
Absolutely.
Keep those connections, because you don't know in the future when it will come back to help you potentially.
Exactly. And that's the industry as a total. Like, it's all about who you know. And it's kind of like, don't get any enemies, because you really don't know what can happen. Right. They can have a connection to somebody, and it's all word of mouth. So you really just have to be a genuinely nice person.
You have to be a nice person. Then there's some people in the entertainment industry that probably aren't, but people know that too.
For sure, yeah. There's your divas, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, folks, hey, we're going to stop right here. We'll be back in just a second, and we're going to find out more about the shows over at King's Castle Theater. Hang tight. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 4 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our eClub to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com. Have you seen our new PlayBranson magazine? Well, if you're in town and you want to know more about Branson's shows, attractions, golf, the lakes, and more, you need to get the PlayBranson magazine. It's free. It's located all over town in racks, so be sure to pick up the PlayBranson magazine. You may be sitting in your hotel room tonight saying, who is playing where tonight in Branson? Well, guess what? If you go to thevacationchannel.com, you can see Branson's show and attraction schedules. Just click on the schedule button in the top right corner and you'll see who's playing tonight in Branson. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We're here with Kelvin Wright, and he is a performer over at the King's Castle Theater. And so tell us a little bit about what's going on at the King's Castle Theater and then even into 2025.
For sure. So we are currently wrapping up our Christmas season with Branson's Christmas Wonderland. It's our Christmas spectacular show. The show's been running at the theatre for 25 years. Wow. It's a real fun, family-friendly show that really gets you in the mood for Christmas. It's everything that you expect to be in a Christmas show. We have dancing elves. We have a crazy Santa. It's just a real fun, heartfelt show.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what's going to happen next year?
So next year, we'll have our closing season in January, and we open back up on February 14th.
Wow.
With Anthems of Rock, we will only be doing Friday and Saturday performances for the month of February. And then March 1st, we open our full schedule with all of our shows at the theatre.
And so are you in all the shows? You in some of the shows?
So I'm in some of the shows. So I'm in Anthems of Rock. I'm in the Dublin's Irish Tenors and the Celtic Ladies. Obviously, I'm in Christmas Wonderland. Did I mention the Ultimate 70s show?
No, I don't think so.
I'm in the Ultimate 70s show. I'm in Cirque Electric Dreams, which will be returning this summer. I actually had the privilege to choreograph that show. That was my first big show to choreograph here in Branson, so I'm excited for that to come back this year.
So I saw that show this summer, and I loved the guys at the end that did the trampoline stuff. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
They were a big hit for sure.
Yeah, it was good. So when you're in these shows, you're part of the dance troupe, right?
Yeah, so I actually sing and dance in the shows. So I have my vocal moments, but the majority of the time you'll see me as a dancer.
Okay, and so in these shows you have, I'm guessing, different styles of dance that you have to do.
So they all fall under the Broadway production show caliber, where mainly jazzy and musical theatre vibe to them. Very technical jazz routines in the show. And with a little bit of contemporary, so we get to show all of the hours we spent training on all of these different styles of dance.
So let's kind of go through each show a little bit more, and let's talk about Anthems of Rock. That's on your shirt there. And so if maybe someone's never been to that show, what are they going to get in Anthems of Rock?
So Anthems of Rock, it is the biggest and best rock party here in Branson. We are celebrating our 6th year of doing it, coming up in 2025. It covers all of the classic rock bands from the 70s and 80s. You're going to know every single song in the show. It's going to have you on your feet singing and dancing. It's going to take you back to that time when you were in the nightclub as a young person. It's a really great show. We have Jacob and Ryan that play live guitar in the show. They're amazing. They have the crowd on their feet and screaming for more.
Jacob, and we did an episode with Jacob, go back in our history. And I mean, that guy can play.
Yeah, he's amazing. We're so lucky to have him. He went off to Australia to do some worship work over there. And we're happy to have him back.
Yeah.
Because he's one in a million.
Yeah. No, he brought his guitar in that day and played it here. And I'm like, it was insane.
Yeah, he's incredible. We're so lucky to have him.
So I didn't see the other guy that played while he was gone.
Yeah. So last year, in this year, in our 2024 season, he took on the role to play guitar. and he's great. He's also a part of our other shows, and just a man with hidden talents. He showed up one day with his guitar, and we were like, all right, you can do this. Let's put you on the stage.
Okay, so talked about the 70s show.
So the Ultimate 70s Show, it's the grooviest show. It's all of those disco classics from the 70s. I was born in the 90s, but it's one of those shows that you're going to know every single song in the show. It's fun, it's out there, it's a big scale production. The stage is full of dancers and singers, and they're just really like having a good time. Another great show where the audience at the end are on their feet dancing along with us.
Yeah. What about New Jersey Nights? Is that going to be back?
New Jersey Nights will be back. So for the King's Castle Theatre, that's been here for about 11 years now. And it's one of those shows that we can't get rid of. It's a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons tribute show. It's a musical journey throughout their entire career. And then we also touch on Frankie Valli's solo career as well. And we're joined with the Jersey Girls that just add a little bit of flair and sass to the show. And they sing some of those 60s songs that the girl groups at that time would have been singing as well.
Mm-hmm. And then the Irish show, and I'll let you say what it is.
Kelvin's Irish Tenors and the Celtic Ladies. Yes. So that's an international cast from overseas. We sing all of the classic Irish hits that everybody knows and loves. We're joined with the cast from Spirit of the Dance. We actually have the Irish dance stars that do all of that fast, intricate footwork, kind of like the Lord of the Dance. It's just a high, intense show with those dancers in it, with the Dublin's Irish Tenors giving that charm and the cheek, and then the classic Royal Celtic Ladies.
So there's a big variety at your theater, and of course you then have Christmas Wonderland, which we just touched on at the beginning. So like literally somebody could go there and see on a given day 2 or 3 potential different shows.
Absolutely. And at our theatre as well, we'd like to help our patrons. So we have multi-show discounts where you can save bunches of money. You can come and see all of our shows for $99 with a $15, $20 and $25 discount. So we really like to help our guests as much as we can, because we want to make sure our crowds are full, and we want to make that the energy in that audience is great for not our audience, but also our cast to give the goods out there.
Yeah. Okay, folks. So you've heard about all of these shows here. That's at the King's Castle Theatre, right really in the center of the Strip is what I call it. It's kind of across from the aquarium, across from Dairy Queen. It used to be the Bobby Vinton Theater. Then it went to the Branson Variety Theater, and now it's the King's Castle. And so you got a kind of a castle-looking front of it.
Yeah, we do. It's like a big castle on the front of it. Yeah, you can't miss us.
So I got to ask this question, like you're dancing in all these different shows. How do you memorize all those different moves?
You know, a lot of people ask me that question, and I really don't have a good answer for it. It's like, if you asked me to memorize a book of something, I would be completely clueless. Like I would forget the first page. But it's like a little part in my brain that just stores all of these steps, and the music comes on and my body just takes over.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Now you said you helped on the Cirque show.
I did.
Did you choreograph all that?
I did. Yeah. So both myself and I choreographed the show, and Jackie Bell directed the show. And we had a Cirque show at the theatre many years ago, and we just thought it was time just to have another different show. Our show has a lot of variety of shows, so we wanted to add something completely different that wouldn't touch any of our other shows, and it was great. It was a fun project for me to choreograph on. My style of choreography is more commercially based now as I'm getting older, so it was just a new fresh take on a different show at our theatre.
Yeah, I just think trying to even choreograph a show and say all these people got to go here and do this win, like there's so much talent in our community, and this is just another great example of, and this is why I like this show, because when you go to the theater, you're not going to hear your training background and what you have done, and it just highlights the caliber and quality of entertainers that we have here in Branson. It's neat.
The town itself, I mean, the talent in this town is insane. You can go to any theater and see great products. But yeah, we have multiple shows with multi discounts, like come and check us out. You will be leaving with a huge smile on your face.
Okay, folks, you heard it here. They reopen February 14th with Anthems of Rock in 2025. They're about wrapping up the 24 season. So depending on when this airs, there may be a few shows, there may not. So go check them out. And we'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up. You know, we often provide tips on how to make your Branson vacation better. So have you guys seen the Flavor of Branson magazine? Now, if you're in town and you want to know more about Branson's restaurants, this is the most complete guide for dining. And guess what? It's free. It's located all over town in racks, and it will help save you money. Stretch those vacation dollars even further. There are about 20 coupons in the back. It lists all the restaurants and categories. And so check this out. Be sure to check it out in the lobby of your hotel. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We've been talking to Kelvin Wright from the King's Castle Theater today. You can find all the shows he's talking about located at 2701 West 76 Country Boulevard. You know, they have lots of shows there. Anthems of Rock, Circle Electric Dreams, The Ultimate 70s Show, New Jersey Nights, Dublin's Irish Tenors and Celtic Ladies, and Branson's Christmas Wonderland. You can book them online at ibranson.com. They have shows through the end of the year, and they will reopen February 14th, 2025. Be sure to call the folks at ibranson.com at 877-ENTERTAIN, or you can go online to ibranson.com to start planning your 2025 vacation to Branson. Now, you can find our PlayBranson episodes on social media, on Facebook, or our YouTube channel. We're always telling you to subscribe to our YouTube channel at PlayBranson. And you can also find our episodes on thevacationchannel.com. So we try to be a lot of places so you can stay in tune with what's happening with Branson's shows and attractions. This really marks the end of our 7th season of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson entertainers better. So thanks for watching in 2024, and we'll see you soon in 2025. That's it for today, and we'll see you soon.